You're not woke, you're broke. I'm your host, certified financial therapist Jaelyn Vickery, guiding you towards becoming someone who finally trusts themselves with money. If you're ready to transform your financial identity through real money talk, money news, and money stories, turn up the volume and tune in. This is Finance, Fitness, and Finesse. Hey, Finessers! How can you just not get into it with that opener? I mean, it's so fun, and I couldn't have done it without a team of very talented people to just create such a vibe. I hope that your energy is up and that you are tuning in today, Finessers. I'm so happy to be with you guys on the show today. I got good energy because it's finally getting warm outside. We still got that, Midwest bipolar weather happening, but hey, we're going to make it. We're going to endure. Warm times are ahead of us. And I got a new earpiece in today. I'm like a secret agent for those of you that are watching. So on today's show, I was thinking, I was like, I don't think I've told the Finesser community about what financial therapy is. When would be the best time to utilize financial therapy and wellness services? And so I figured that I would tell you guys a little bit about what I do for a living and how we can, just normalize money conversations and money culture. I mean, you guys know me, JaeVic. I'm going to say it once and I'll say it again. The only way to learn about money is to talk about money. So let's get into it. Financial therapy. Typically, when people ask me, what do you do for a living? And I say financial therapist, the first response that I get is, what is that? I need that. It's the best. Financial therapy has been such a rewarding field to be in because I get to marry two things that cause a lot of problems in our day-to-day lives. That's money and emotions. And so just to give you guys a preface of what we're going to get into, financial therapy is a practice that helps you think, feel, and behave differently with money. The way we feel about money is a greater indicator of our financial health than the actual amount of money in our bank account. That's right, Finessers. Money is emotions disguised as numbers. I'm sure you're like, pondering that makes a lot of sense. It explains, why I feel this urge to go and, get myself that treat after a long and hard day. And there's nothing wrong with treating yourself, but when your money is using you rather than you being able to utilize your money as an asset by an understanding of the emotional and human experiences with money, that's where the true financial freedom lies. I mean, I've worked with people all across the socioeconomic spectrum, and it really doesn't matter how much money you have if you are not in tune with how your emotions and above all, how your relationships interact with your behaviors and habits around money. When I first got started in the financial therapy field, it was actually starting when I entered the mental health space, working in eating disorder care. And, this was after, my banking experience that you guys know was my, first introduction to the world of money, right? Learning about it by talking about it. After banking, I worked in eating disorder care, and two things we interact with daily, can't live without, and often struggle with the most are food and money. And oh my goodness, the diversity of people from all walks of life that I got to work with in understanding the difficulties around navigating, two resources that we need to survive, food and money, but also the social components of what comes into that. I mean, think about it. Most times when we are trying to celebrate something, or even just anything of acknowledgement, it seems like food and purchasing food always has to be involved. At least that's a lot of the strain that I see people experiencing when, we're social creatures, we're social beings, and we thrive in community. So when your community, when your family, friends, coworkers, you name it, when they're pulling you towards customs of spending in order to celebrate, and then there's also typically food, substances, beverages involved, it can cause you to feel outside of what you truly want. And that can just result in a cyclical effect of, I spend to belong. There's nothing wrong with that, but is it truly aligned with your definition of wealth and a balanced life? That's what you can explore in financial therapy. Financial therapy equips you with the ability to confront financial pain that you never have been able to before. Money management is a form of pain management, okay? Money management is a form of pain management. And it's remarkable. I mean, even I've experienced it in my own life where we treat money like it's something that it's to be dealt with later, right? I don't need to look at that right now. I have money coming in, so I'll be fine, right? Do you feel fine? Or is your money stressing you out? Are you waking up in the middle of the night, consistently worrying? Are you unable to fully enjoy those times that you spend with your friends, with your kids? Or every time you swipe the card, it's for something fun, but that guilt and shame follows you later. Financial therapy alleviates that pain, that scarcity mindset. And honestly, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I almost don't even think that financial therapy should need to be an occupation. I don't even really think that mental health has to be an occupation. Not because I don't love what I do. When I love being able to witness the uniqueness of every individual story that I get to interact with, I have the opportunity to interact with. Yet, therapy doesn't have to be a profession if we had a world that normalized openness. If we had a world that wasn't afraid to diversify your perspectives by learning from different stories, especially our money stories. After the break, we'll get into a money news headline that will break down how we can utilize financial therapy to our advantage. Finessers, the only way to learn about money is to talk about money. Money feels out of control for the majority of people right now. But if you're here listening to the F3 show, you're not trying to be the majority. You're trying to do something different. Dimensional Wealth provides financial therapy and money coaching. Our services are designed to help you get your money organized by understanding the emotional and behavioral patterns affecting your bank account. Stop procrastinating when it comes to your money. Overcome impulsive spending, money anxiety, and heal from money trauma. Take the first step to take care of yourself. Visit JaeVic.com to book your consultation, and listeners get an exclusive discount on services using code DWF3. That's DWF3 at JaeVic.com. Let's build wealth with wellness. Now back to the show. Hey Finessers, welcome back to the show. I hope during that break, you know what I'm going to tell you. I hope that you got a sip of water, took a little stretch break, take some deep breaths, and let's come back to the episode. We're about to get into a money news headline, but I have been singing songs about money all day, honestly, for several weeks now. I recently decided to create a money playlist where I am researching as many songs as I can that reference money, that talk about concepts of money, wealth, poverty, right, relationships, the emotions. Oh my gosh, I'm a huge nerd about it. I mean, again, the only way to learn about money is to talk about money. Maybe I go the extra step from, not only having a practice that works with people around their money stories and their money systems all day. I talk about money, I listen to money, I write about money, not because I'm money hungry necessarily, right? I have so much that I seek to achieve in regards to my definition of wealth and my financial stability. But if I'm being honest, I'm already wealthy because of the ways that I have recognized how I can make deposits into different dimensions of life and how that's going to compound into the lifestyle that I envision for myself, just growing from whatever my baseline is. And that's, again, something that financial therapy equips you with the ability to do, is to establish your own unique definition of wealth in the current circumstances that you're in. Because if you can work with your money, mind, and emotions when you don't have money, you'll be that much more equipped to receive and remain regulated in how you manage your money as it compounds into more dollars in your bank account. Oh, and by the way, for those of you that are listening, finessers, if anybody has a song about money that they would like to send us, please send it to financefitnessfinesse@gmail.com or to F3 on our social media channels, and we'll have it added to the money playlist that I can't wait to share with you guys soon. There's a copy of it actually on our website at JaeVic.com. Okay, so for our money news headline of the day, a big part of your financial journey, finessers, is making sure that you are aware it's not necessarily what you know, but who you know, okay? Financial literacy, it's very important. However, it is a Band-Aid to an overall problem. Now, we live in a day and age where we have endless accessibility, at least if you have access to some sort of phone, computer, right? I mean, you could even go to your local library and be there all day and be able to utilize the resources to dive in online, in books, around building the knowledge base around general concepts of financial literacy, which is huge and it's fundamental. It's very much needed. However, there's a difference between simply knowing financial concepts and being able to talk the language of money, right? Being able to actually have a collaborative discussion with another person about it. And then there's also an additional component of the action aspect of it as well. Because you can know as much as you want about money, but if there are barriers or avoidance factors, even impulsivity factors, that prevent you from being able to make decisions in your best interest while also incorporating an element of risk by trying something new, that is the advanced step that you can take, or at least that's what you can follow in regards to leading up to something called financial edification. Now, edification means, contributing to one's not only knowledge, but also the evolvement of the person as an intellectual that then can also pay it forward and contribute out to others. Money it's a system that is man-made, right? And so we need to make sure that we are having conversations, expanding our network of people that we do communicate with regarding money concepts so that we can be better informed and also be able to just understand money in a different way. Because if you can tackle any type of problem, especially like money problems, with different baseline perspectives from what you have learned that has contributed to your own, that's where unique solutions and systems are truly produced to help compound your wealth. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because there is a phenomenal wealth advisor in my network named Caleb Stapp. He operates a business called Deep Creek Financial Planning, and he shared with me, this is a letter that he wrote to one of his clients about how oil affects investors, okay? How oil affects investors. Now, what's the money news headline here? Well, if you watch the news, which I hope that you do, or I hope tuning into WCIA Plus or your local news station will, through unique channels such as apps, if you're not able to turn it on cable, or maybe you're getting your information from reels and short form content. I'm sure that some of you have heard about the war and the conflict that is going on overseas, right? Now, aside from many people feeling like the world is burning down and we're feeling very much Chicken Little, the sky is falling, I encourage you to, again, make sure that you are diversifying your knowledge base, also of where you are getting your information from, so that you can truly have a grasp on what is happening and how that affects you. Right? I mean, we are fortunate enough at this time in America to not have any conflict on our shores, yet the conflict, it still transcends through the economy, and that's what impacts your expense ratio, feeling like it's going higher than your income ratio. Okay? So I'm going to read what Caleb wrote to this client, because the way that he describes it, and the fact that he shared it with me to pay forward that knowledge, pay forward a unique way to seek to understand something that can seem very intimidating and how it affects our money, it's super important, right? So, okay, let's get into it. So the title is Special Update, How $100 Oil Affects Investors. Finessers. Headlines are reporting the ongoing conflict in the Middle East and the sharp rise in oil prices, as we know. Both Brent and WTI prices have jumped above $100, a level often thought to create economic concern. Now, before I continue, when you hear that the Brent and WTI oil prices are above $100, typically, when we don't have an understanding of certain things, our ears tend to turn off. And I encourage you, when you feel that discomfort, focus in on where you feel it in your body. For me, when I feel like I'm being resistant to learning new terms, especially when it comes to money, and there's things like the economy and conflict involved, right? That can cause me to get tight in my chest, and I start just drifting away, right? Well, the reason why I am calling you out in this moment is because whether you like it or not, money is going to be a part of your life now and every day moving forward, no matter what form it comes in. So you need to wake up, you need to lock in. The WTI stands for West Texas Intermediate. WTI is the primary oil price benchmark in the United States. Okay? WTI, oil price benchmark in the U.S., okay? Layman's terms, it's how the U.S. sets oil prices, okay? WTI. Brent is the Brent crude. It's the main international benchmark, okay? WTI, U.S. oil pricing. Brent is international oil pricing, okay? When we talk about these global benchmarks, right, an important thing to make sure that we are aware of is the fact that this conflict right now, it is cutting off the oil supply to the rest of the world, okay? And when oil is cut off, it's going to cause inflation of prices. Travel, okay? That's travel via plane, travel via car. I mean, any sort of transportation that you take is going to go up. So that's why you're also maybe hearing headlines of, if you're going to travel for the summer, there is advice that you buy earlier, because we're not sure where the prices are going to continue to go the longer that the oil price is cut off. Okay? What else is affected by transportation? Food, okay? And when food transportation gets more expensive and the grocery stores, the restaurants, right, they're paying for these shipments to come in, where do the costs get passed to? The consumer. You. Okay? Now, this is something to be very mindful of, okay? I know hearing that prices going up, it's not, I don't like hearing that, right? Even though, I've done a lot of work to do my own wellness practices to stay regulated around price uncertainty. I don't see my income going up, but prices continue to go up, right? So all that being said, the two main things to take away here before we reach our next commercial break to talk about ways that you can be proactive, along with grounding or coping techniques. And what those are is to help you, when things start to get overwhelming, it helps you, be able to bounce back faster to build up that pain tolerance with your money management. But the two main takeaways that I want you guys to take, the three main takeaways to have from this money news segment. WTI, West Texas Intermediate, we learned is the U.S. primary benchmark for oil pricing. And then Brent is the international benchmark for oil pricing. Third, why are my groceries and my travel fees going up? Because the conflict overseas is causing a disruption to the distribution of oil internationally. I'll see you guys after this next break. Finessers, how is society supposed to survive if the wealth gap keeps growing because financial support is built for people who already have money? A lot of financial services are charging $200, $300 an hour just to have a conversation. And for most people, that's just not realistic. I mean, 4 out of 10 Americans can't even afford a $400 emergency expense. Dimensional Wealth offers financial therapy and money coaching through a pay-per-minute model starting at just $1.50 per minute. You pay for the time you need, time and money, 2 of your most important assets back in your control. In just 8 sessions, our clients see lasting change, becoming more organized, more confident, and navigating their money decisions with more ease. So if you've been putting off getting financial support because of time or cost, now you have no excuse. Visit JaeVic.com to book your consultation, and listeners of the show get an exclusive discount on services using code DWF3. That's DWF3 at JaeVic.com. You're not woke, you're broke. Now back to the show. Hey, Finessers. Had to get a little sip of water. Welcome back. Make sure you get that stretch break in. I hope that you guys have good energy going into this last segment. What I'm going to encourage you to do to make sure that we are tuned in and locked in is take in where you're at with your breath. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. We're all going to be okay. We may feel like the sky is falling because our algorithm is trying to push us into a panic, which only contributes to impacts on the stock market, because typically consumers make decisions emotionally before we have any actual evidence of things falling from the sky. And then we end up manifesting our financial reality out of fear rather than abundance. Take a breath. There's a technique that I utilize with clients called color washing, where I guide them in closing their eyes and envisioning a color that represents safety, stability, abundance, being provided for. It's so interesting because everybody has different colors. I had a client the other day, as I was guiding her through this, I asked her to take in where she's at in her body, paying attention to her breath. I had her close her eyes and imagine her color of abundance. And as I guided her through the exercise, where I led her through breathing and envisioning that color starting at the top of her head and swirling all the way down her body, that visualization effect, that reconnection to the here and now, she told me after the exercise that her colors were baby blue, and this like deep earthy maroon. And that was so interesting because, sometimes when I ask people about their color of abundance, they ask me before they allow their natural thought to come through. Like, they're like, am I supposed to think green? And I'm like, well, whatever color, stability, safety, and abundance means to you. And when people take a moment to really reflect on their true self and that connection to those different aspects of money and financial freedom, interesting colors come up, such as what this client said with this beautiful color of baby blue she showed me. I wish I knew the actual name for it. And then that deep maroon. She mentioned how the blue represented her son, her newborn, because even though she didn't have much when she had her first child, that's where she found wealth and the pursuit of stability, purpose, right, compounded for her. And the maroon was a color that she enjoys wearing to work. So it helps her feel strong. It helps her be able to lift her head up and shoulders back. And the reason why I share that with you guys is because when we are amidst uncertainty and headlines try to push us to act outside of ourselves, outside of our current reality, that only contributes to a cyclical pandemic that our culture is in, around not ever having enough, and feeling stuck and ill-equipped, or like we're not capable of being able to live a life where we can truly be connected to our day-to-day, right? Because we have to be thankful for today, because today is all we have, and that's where the true abundance lies. So as we close out today's episode, I encourage you guys to learn about money by talking about money, lean into your relationships and your community. If you're in search of community resources to help you have the support to be able to have pain management through your money management, dimensional wealth is always an option through financial therapy and financial coaching. Please don't hesitate to reach out, because we have a network of diverse professionals in the finance and wellness field that can support you no matter what your needs are or where you're at in your financial journey. You're not woke, you're broke if you don't give F3 a follow on socials. And please don't hesitate to email us your money stories so we can feature you on the show. I'm JaeVic. I will see you guys next time. And if you don't know, now you know. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Finance, Fitness, and Finesse. If this episode shifted how you think or feel about money, pass it along to someone you care about. Got a real-life money story, question, or discovery? Send it our way at financefitnessfinesse@gmail.com or connect with us on social media. And remember, you're not woke, you're broke.